This is the most convoluted thing I've ever had to do just to get some functionality out of a camera that should have been included anyway. All right, so hey jerks, I'm back with another update technological thing. Well, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm doing a different kind of video. And we're talking about the GH4 again today. Now, you may remember I had a little unboxing of the GH4 last video, and basically didn't really talk about the camera itself, but I talked about what you got in this package that I got, and pretty good. I mean, I've been using some of the things. We'll see. Anyway, 2 weekends ago, in fact, it was the day after I took, this came in the mail, I was trying to do a short film with it, and it happened to be a 48-hour film project situation, so time was of the essence and whatever. Anyway, I was looking at through some of the clips that I was taking, and they looked terrible. So that was kind of a bummer, and we had to ditch the GH4 shooting in 4K and go back to my D810. I don't know where that is. Anyway, I had to go back to my D810 to finish the film. Anyway, so one of the reasons why it looked kind of crappy is because I didn't know any of the settings that I was supposed to be using. This is a very, very popular camera for filmmakers. It's not very expensive. It shoots in 4K natural, and the bit rates coming out of it, especially when you're recording to a video recorder like I do on my Atomos Samurai, it can be very, very good quality video. So that's the reason why I bought this. That's the reason why I've been using it. And what I found out was that the best video profile, and video profiles are just these things that are in here that you can select. Sometimes Nikon has one called flat, which is very good. There's things like portrait, vivid, black and white, monochrome, just other things that you can shoot so that depending on what you're shooting, it can look better. Now, there's one that that this camera has called Vlog, which is a very popular video recording profile, because what it does is it sort of makes everything, makes everything look crappy, but what it actually does is it records as much information as possible that this sensor is able to, and you get something like, I think it said 14 stops of dynamic range, or maybe it's 13. I don't really know. It's a lot. It's 14, whatever. And what dynamic range is that's the amount of information that you can see from your image. So basically, what you're seeing right here is you're seeing some blacks over here. You're seeing some whites maybe over here and on the desk. And what happens is if you don't expose it exactly properly and light it exactly perfectly, then some of these blacks are going to be so black that there's nothing you can do to find detail in them. Some of these whites, it's the same thing. You're not going to be able to find detail in them. Well, this being a 14 stops with the video profile or the image profile, you're going to get a better starting point for your video that you can then grade and put lookup tables to and stuff like that. It's just going to make very, very good looking imagery. Okay, so that's a bunch of boring shit. So how do you get that? Well, they made this possible with a firmware update, and cameras get firmware updates all the time. Your phones get firmware updates all the time. Everything electronic that's computer-like gets firmware updates all the time. And generally speaking, these are free when you either register your product, or even when you don't register your product, you'll get them for free, because it sometimes adds functionality, it fixes bugs, it does things that are cool. Anyway, so currently the current firmware on this GH4, is version 2.5, and the Vlog profile became available in 2.3. So having just bought this camera, I assumed it was going to come with the latest software. It did not. And I can show you right here is that when you go into the wrench here and you look at version, it's actually shipped with version 2.2. Now, that's pretty crappy considering 2.4 has been out for a very long time. And an interesting thing that happened with this camera is they made the Vlog profile available in version 2.3. Now, they wanted people to buy it because apparently it's very important and very few people want it, but the people who really want it will pay for it. I don't know, it's a big mess. So they made it available in 2.3. You could get the firmware, but to get the actual video profile, you had to pay $99 and then you could get it through whatever, blah, blah, blah. There was a procedure. And I'm going to talk about that procedure in a bit because it's ridiculous. Somebody screwed up, and when you updated to 2.3, there was something you could do through the mobile app that controls the camera where you could actually select Vlog through the mobile app and then copy it to one of the custom profiles on here. I might be talking way above your head, but whatever. So basically people figured this out, and then it was everywhere. You know, people put it online and then everybody's like, oh my God, we can get this thing for free. So they very, very quickly came out with firmware version 2.4. And then shortly thereafter, they also fixed the app so that you can no longer select Vlog through the app if you didn't have the right firmware. What I have done is I actually purchased the Vlog profile, and it came today. And let me show you what I got. I'm not kidding. This is it. So let's just open this up. So let's see what we got here. All right, so this is it. Ooh, there's nothing in the box there. I got an installation guide that's like, still, it's 8 pages to install some software, but they put it in 73 languages. So the actual booklet here is 70 pages. All right, so this is actually what I bought for $99. It's a piece of cardboard with, oops, I probably shouldn't have shown that. It's a piece of card, it won't matter because nobody's gonna be able, I'll blank it out. Anyway, it's a piece of cardboard with a key code on it. I'm not kidding. So in this giant box that took 5 days to arrive to me, they sent me a key code. All right, so let's talk about the process of how this has to happen. And I have the procedure right here, and I think you might be interested to know what the procedure is. So there's one other thing I need to do to make sure, is to have a brand new fresh battery. So let me get that real quick. Procedure is, you go on B&H and you order yourself the Vlog update. And I believe that the product name is the, doesn't even say the product name on here, but I mean, it is actually called the DMW SFU1. And I believe FU stands for fuck you because they make this so hard. Okay. So in 5-7 days, you'll get a box like this. You open up the box, you rip it open. You're going to get a card like this. And on the card, it's going to have an activation number. Now, my activation number, obviously nobody's going to be able to use, but I'll probably fuzz it out anyway. So you take this activation number and you just set it on your desk for a while because you're not even close to done yet. First, what you got to do is you have to go into your, thing, whatever, and you have to make sure that you've got at least version 2.3 on your firmware. If you don't already have version 2.3 on your firmware, then you've got to update your firmware. How do you do that? Well, here's what you do. You go online onto the Panasonic site and you find the update. You get yourself a card. You stick it in your computer like that. Then you would take your, whoops, that's not even right. How about you go to here and you would open up your file and you will put it into your card right there in the root directory. Great. Okay, super awesome. We're halfway there. You take your card out of your computer, you stick it back into your camera like that, and then you press play. I'm not going to do this because I've already done this, but when you press play, it didn't work, but when you press play, it'll say, do you want to version up? And of course, yes, you do want to version up because that's the whole point of what you're doing. Then you go into your camera and you go down here to where it says activate, and then you're going to export your serial code to the card. So you would hit yes. You would hit yes and do that. Then, then you take your card out of your camera, you stick it back into your computer, and then you go to this bullshit site right here. That's something like activate code or whatever. I don't really know, but activate code. Then you download to this site your serial number from your camera, blah, blah, and then it will give you a little box to put in your activation code. Remember this thing. Then you put that in there. Then it creates a file called activate. Sorry, I forgot to mention that your files that you're looking for are in, this is on the card. You go into private, you go into Panagroup, you go into PAVC, you go into Lumix, and you go into ACTV, and that active wouldn't be there yet. But here's your serial number from your camera that you just found out by hitting that yes button. This is the file that you upload to this stupid site that gives you an activate number or an activate file after you've put in your key code. Well, you have to figure out where that downloaded to and then copy it to the same place where your serial is. Then you take your card out of your camera, out of your computer, you stick it back into your camera, and then you go back to here, and you go back to activate, and then you go import activation code, and I'm not going to do it because I've already done it, but then, and only then, will you have updated your camera to use the vlog function. Panasonic, you suck. You suck. I'm sorry, but you suck. So now I've got to go to a different little website and download the LUT, the lookup table for bringing back all the color and the detail in the image once I have recorded it. And then I can also use other LUTs to do different kinds of things. So that was the procedure. I'm sorry this went so long. This literally took me 50 minutes to do from start to finish, and this is why I recorded the whole thing. I didn't stop it all. Now, hopefully this video is only going to be about 4 minutes, but whoa, it's a fucking mess. So good luck if you've got this, and vlog is worth it. I've seen all the videos and stuff like that. It's totally worth it, and I hope to be showing you some videos very soon of stuff that I produce on this camera. So until next time, jerks. This has been a thing. I've got a headache, and see you later.